A man named Daniel once believed his biggest problem was lack of motivation. Every Monday morning felt heavy. Not because life was hard, but because he felt empty. He woke up tired, scrolled through his phone before even sitting up, and compared his life to strangers who seemed happier, richer, stronger. By 8 a.m. he already felt behind. At work, he laughed when people joked. He nodded during meetings. He even smiled in pictures. But inside, something was slowly fading. Peace. Every night followed the same pattern. Dinner. A little scrolling. One video. Then another. Then another. Midnight quietly became 2 a.m. He told himself it helped him relax. But rest never came. His thoughts became louder when the screen finally turned off. Regret. Comparison. Fear about the future. He remembered hearing somewhere that guarding your heart matters because everything in life flows from it. At the time it sounded poetic. Now it felt painfully real. Because whatever entered his mind at night followed him into the morning. One evening after work, Daniel sat in silence longer than usual. No music. No videos. Just quiet. It felt uncomfortable. Almost threatening. He realized something. He had not been avoiding boredom. He had been avoiding himself. The silence forced questions he didn't want to answer. Why had he stopped praying? Why did small tasks feel impossible? Why did success feel so far away even when opportunities were close? He remembered a verse his mother used to repeat when he was younger, that a person who cannot control his own spirit is like a city without walls. Back then, he thought discipline was about punishment. Now he understood it was about protection. Without boundaries, anything could enter. Distraction, fear, addiction. That night he made a small decision. Nothing dramatic. No motivational speech. He placed his phone on the kitchen counter before going to bed. Immediately his mind protested. What if someone texts? What if you miss something important? The room felt strangely loud without noise. He turned left, then right. Sleep didn't come easily. But somewhere between frustration and exhaustion, he realized something surprising. He was still alive without constant stimulation. The world had not collapsed. The next morning felt different. Not perfect. Just quieter. He woke up before the alarm. Sunlight slipped through the curtains. For the first time in months, he sat on the edge of his bed without reaching for anything. No notifications. No comparisons. Just breathing. He remembered another scripture about being still long enough to recognize God's presence. Stillness used to scare him. Now it felt like relief. The first week wasn't easy. Some nights he almost grabbed the phone again. Boredom visited often, but boredom slowly turned into thinking. Thinking turned into planning. Planning turned into action. He started walking in the mornings. Nothing impressive. Just 10 minutes outside. Birds. Fresh air. Movement. His mind began to feel lighter. At work, ideas returned. Not because he suddenly became smarter, but because his attention finally belonged to him again. One afternoon a colleague said, "You look different lately." Daniel laughed it off, but he knew the truth. He hadn't added anything new to his life. He simply removed what was draining it. He remembered another line he once ignored, that small choices can lead either toward life or toward destruction. He used to think destruction meant something dramatic. Now he understood. Sometimes destruction looks like wasted years, lost focus, dreams quietly postponed. If you are honest, maybe part of this story sounds familiar. Maybe your nights disappear faster than you planned. Maybe mornings feel heavier than they should. Maybe you keep telling yourself tomorrow will be different. Here is a simple challenge. Tonight, place your phone outside your bedroom. Just 7 nights. Not forever. 7. Expect discomfort. Your mind may feel restless. That doesn't mean you are failing. It means your mind is learning to breathe again. Use those quiet moments to reflect. Pray if you can. Write your thoughts down. Sit still long enough to hear what your heart has been trying to say. Because renewal rarely begins with a big miracle. Sometimes it begins with one small act of obedience. One small decision. One quiet night. And if this story spoke to you, come back tomorrow. There are more battles men fight in silence. And more victories waiting on the other side of discipline.